I'm Andrea, and this is week 1 of learning Spanish through poetry with Andrea. Because I'm beginner, and I'm trying to learn. And I really like poetry kind of.
I'm kind of new to it, but I thought I should try it. I'm a really big beginner right now, but I'm hoping this helps.
Like me recording it, I can like track my process, and that'd be that. But yeah, we're going over Rimas. It's gonna be so awkward pronouncing stuff because I know I have like my pronunciation's like terrible, but Rimas y leyendas. I should have researched that before I did this. Next time I'm gonna be able to pronounce this perfectly. I don't know, but it's by Gustavo, so I would pronounce his full name, but I would butcher it. So we're going over Rimas 1, this guy, and I have notes. So I'm basically just gonna go over it, read through it, give you the translation, and we're gonna talk about it. Because most of this is gonna be in English, but this like took work to translate this poem. I'm really nervous. I don't know why. Okay, I'm gonna read first. Okay, so I'm gonna start with. So this is how it's gonna go. I'm gonna read paragraph by or not paragraph, stanza by stanza, and I'm gonna translate it. And then once we're done reading it, it's really short. Then I'm gonna explain it because it took me a second to understand. So, okay, here you go. Yo sé un himno gigante y extraño que anuncia en la noche del alma una aurora, y estas páginas son de ese himno, cadencias que el aire dilata en las sombras. So he's saying, I know a giant and strange hymn that announces a dawn in the night of the soul. And these pages are from that hymn. Cadences that the air spreads in the shadows. I read, dilata is like spread or dilates, but in this I believe it spreads. Second stanza. Yo quisiera escribirlo. Hold on. Second stanza. Yo quisiera escribirlo del hombre, tomando el rebelde, mezquino idioma, con palabras que fuesen a un tiempo, suspiros y risas, colores y notas. So he's saying, I would like to write this hymn, or wait, hold on, I'm going to do the direct transition. I would like to write it from the man, taming the rebellious, petty language, with language that were once sighs and laughter, colors and notes. Pero en vano escuchar, que no hay cifra capaz de encerrarlo, ya apenas, oh hermosa, si teniendo en mis manos las tuyas, pudiera a la hora. ¡Ah! Pudiera al orlo cantártelo a solas. I'm gonna do that again. I listened to a lady pronouncing this entire poem, and it's hard. It says, it is in vain to fight. There is no code capable of enclosing it. And barely. Oh, pretty. This is the part where I was a little confused when I translated this. Because it's like, makes sense. And then he's like, oh, pretty. Oh, beautiful. Okay, but then he says, if having your hands in mine, I could whisper it to you alone. Okay, so, and then the last line was a little hard to translate. So, okay. This one's open. Oh, I had it in the wrong ear. Hello? I'm dumb. Okay. So, this is a romantic poem, but I will say, like, I had such a hard time translating this. Not only because I don't know Spanish, but because when you're like, poetry is so strange. It's kind of like a problem that you have to solve and like actually use your brain to think about like what the meanings are, what the author's trying to like intend, because they use a lot of like words that kind of have double meanings, or you kind of have to guess in a sense. And I'm gonna pull up my original translation. Okay, this was the first translation I made. I know a giant and strange hymn that announces in the night of soul and dawn, and these pages are from that hymn, cadences that the air dilates in the shadows. I'd like to write to you, from the man, taming the rebellious, mean language, with words that were at the time, or with words that were at that time, sighs and laughter, colors and notes. But it is in vain to struggle, that there is no figure able to enclose it, and just, oh, beautiful. Yes, holding in my hands yours, I could, on hearing it, sing it to you alone. So, I used my Spanish dictionary and some other Spanish app, and I mean, I think I got like a decent translation, but like, I had no idea what this guy was talking about. Like, genuinely, I was like, what is this dude even trying to communicate to me right now? Because what? But I know people might be against this, but I ended up going on the ChatGPT and like I was like, can you please correct my translation, because I knew it was somewhat wrong, and it did, and it made so much more sense to me on like what this poem was actually about. So I actually have notes now regarding what this entire poem means. And it's really a beautiful poem. It has a little romantic touch to it, but then it also is like, it talks about like a genuine thing that I've thought about for a while. So we're just gonna go through it like 2 lines at a time, and I'll describe like what they mean in context. Because it's a little hard to understand, I think. And I'm really hoping as this series goes on, it's easier for me to like figure this stuff out without having to go to AI. But trust, these are mostly my original thoughts. So the first 2 lines. Yo sé un himno gigante y extraño que anuncia la noche del alma una aurora. So basically, Gustavo, he's like introducing us to a really like a hymn that like we can't even fathom because it's so strange and big. Those were 2 words that he used, but I'm like kind of envisioning it as this like, it's almost not even a hymn, it's just like bigger than we can even think or comprehend. And then he talks about how it announces a dawn in like this, in the night of the soul, and I'm kind of thinking about like a spiritual light in a way, like someone's soul. Like I'm imagining, I grew up on the beach, and I'm imagining like the sun coming up from the beach, and like everything's dark, but then there's this light, and I'm kind of thinking of like this awakening in the spirit, like this hymn just like causes these feelings within you that are just so powerful. And then, okay, so we're gonna go to the 3rd and 4th lines. Y estas páginas son de ese himno, cadencias que el aire dilata en las sombras. That one's a hard line for me to pronounce. Cadencias que el aire dilata en las sombras. I don't think I'm pronouncing it correctly, but I think I'm pronouncing it correctly enough, I hope. But he's talking about how he's like writing this poem, these pages that are about this hymn, but in retrospect, he feels like the pages are like echoes or cadences of this hymn. It's not relatively close of what it is, you know. it's just the aftermath. Or not aftermath, I don't know what a good word would be to like describe that. And like just how it like spreads along the shadows. Like it's kind of mysterious in a sense. Like, oh, this time's so big, I can't even like talk about it. Okay, so now the second stanza. This is where I like this stanza. Yo quisiera escribirlo del hombre, tomando el rebelde mezquino idioma. So this one was kind of hard for me to figure out. I did have to resort to you-know-who, chat, Mr. GBT, to kind of figure out exactly what this is supposed to mean in a sense. Because it's pretty like straight up, but he throws in del hombre, and that's from the man, and like the English translation, I would like to write it from man. I don't know what that means, but in a sense, from what I figured out, is he's talking about he has this like deep desire to write this hymn straight up and using the human language. That's why he says del hombre, so it's reiterating like, oh, like a man-made language, the language that I'm speaking today and speaking to you with, and he wishes he could write it with the language we use. But he talks about he wants to tame the language because it's rebellious and it has like a limited language. That's what he means by mezquino idioma. Because technically that's like petty language, but I think he means it more in like you can't tame it, or not tame it, it's limited. That's what I said earlier, but yeah, this one was a little weird too, like the taming the rebellious language, because I feel like you could take that as him like hating on the language. He wants to like rewrite the language and make it different, which I think he does, and like that's what he means by this, but that's not like, I don't know. Okay, the third and fourth line. This is where I like it. This is where I'm probably gonna rant. Con palabras que fuesen a un tiempo, suspiros y risas, colores y notas. So he's talking about how this language, he wishes it could. What was the word I used? Okay. There's a word in mind, but I can't think of that. He wants a language that transcends sound, and like me talking to you. He wants a language that transcends above that, and he wants a language where the words are like exactly the same to these emotions that he references, sighs and laughter, and I should say experiences. Like he wants a language that are those. There's a word. There's like a word that's a very specific word that's like gonna make this 10 times sound more like polished, but he wants words that are that, if that makes any sense. Like I was thinking about it earlier, like this is something I've thought about for a while. Like everything is so much bigger than what we are, in a sense. Like me speaking to the camera, I'm sitting here, sitting on a floor, I'm feeling all these feelings, but none of you would be able to know that. None of y'all, like, even if I described, like, oh, this wood that I'm sitting on, this wooden floor that I'm sitting on feels so hard and my butt hurts. You get an idea of what I'm going through, but it's not, you don't know exactly what I'm feeling. I can tell you words, but you might not even envision what I'm actually feeling, And I could not imagine what you're feeling right now. You could tell me, oh, I'm sitting on the couch and watching this video. Well, I don't know what type of couch you're sitting on. It might feel really different. I don't know. And so I like how he writes about this, because he's like, he wishes there was a language where you could perfectly describe that. Like, I wish when someone tells me, or like when I'm looking at someone and they're like touching, I don't know, when they're like touching this, I probably wouldn't be able to like even think or fathom like what this feels like. I mean, I can feel it, but I can't perfectly describe it to you because there are no words to perfectly describe this and like the feeling that I'm feeling. I'm saying feeling a lot, but that's, my vocabulary is very limited. But it's just interesting. I don't know if I'm ranting about nothing or if this is even making sense, but I really liked those last two lines. Like, they made sense to me in a way like that I've been trying to think about it and over. Okay. Third stanza, which is the last one. Pero, whoa. Why did I write it like that? Pero en vano es luchar, que no hay cifra, capaz de encerrarlo, ya apenas, oh hermoso. Or hermosa. For some reason I always say hermoso, but anyways. This is, okay. He takes a defeat here. Because he's saying, like, it's in vain to fight. There's no point. And there's no, like, structure to even, sorry, I, like, coughed and laughed at the same time. That was weird. But then he even mentions, like, there's no code to it. Or wait. Yeah, there's no structure to use it. There's no code. I think cifra, that, like, means code, but no structure to even do it. And then this is where it gets a little complicated, like, for me to understand. But I'm trying. So he says, then he transitions to this other part. So he's addressing us by saying, "Oh, hermosa," "Oh, how beautiful," or something, or "Oh, beautiful," directly. But I know it means there's a different way to interpret it. So this is where, to me, it starts making a little bit more sense. So this is the last two lines of the stanza. Si teniendo en mis manos las tuyas, pudiera al oro cantártelo a solas. So now he's talking about, like, intimacy and using intimacy as a way to kind of, like, communicate the time, or, like, it's the only way to replicate the feelings of the time. I'll just read it directly. So he decides to use intimacy to show who he's addressing the time. He's poetically surrendering, as he knows poetry and language can only go so far. He can only express the depth of emotion through intimacy and touch. So yeah, he's like, let me take your hands. I want your hands in yours, or in mine, so then I can whisper it to you in your ear. And, like, I guess to him, that's the only way he can communicate the, like I said, the depth of emotion of the time, you know? So, yeah, it's really interesting. I really like this poem, and I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out which one I want to translate next, because this one took me a second. I actually kind of gave up on it for a while, but then I finally started, like, working on it, because it's complicated, and it's new territory because I don't often, like, read poetry, and now I'm reading it in a language I don't even know, so that's, like, 10 times more complicated. But I'm hoping either, I think I'm just gonna go in order, like, through the rimas, because there's quite a few, and then what happens is it goes into the leyendas. I don't know how to pronounce that, but they're more like, they're long, like this, so who knows. But yeah, I hope if anybody did watch, I don't expect people to watch this, but it'd be cool if people did. I'd love to, like, get into this type of stuff, but I'm mainly doing this to kind of see and track my progress, and maybe it'll inspire other people, because I feel like I need to be more consistent with this, because currently, right now, I'm not only learning through poetry. I also have this magical book, this book that I'm using, currently in chapter 8. I put money as my bookmark. And I'm trying my best. Like, I have my phone in Spanish, all my social media in Spanish, so I'm really trying because I really want to go and study abroad in Spain, so that'd be really fun. But yeah, this one, honestly, this was an interesting poem. I will say, I hope as I do this, and hopefully I continue to do this, I need, if anybody watches this, give me motivation, because I will need that. And hopefully this will be my motivation, but okay, this is my plan. I made this video because I want to start this to get the habit of it and be consistent with Spanish, because I know I can do it. Because I might be getting a tutor this year, so fingers crossed, because I know my pronunciation sucks. I tried my best. But with this, I would like to mainly do this, but then I don't know, it'd be cool if I could do other stuff like rants and get ready with me, and I also don't know how it'll go because I'm not really the editing type of person, and I know to make videos enjoyable, you kind of have to edit them and make them nice to look at and watch. So we're gonna see how that goes today. But thank you for watching. Bye. Love and guidance.